Today I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm going to show you my CD collection, or collection. These are my CDs, and I wouldn't say that I'm collecting, but it's a collection of CDs, but I'm not really collecting them. Okay. I hope that you get what I mean. Okay, I'm not collecting CDs, but I have a collection of CDs. Anyway, so basically, I just I just purchased this CD player because I thought, hey, why not bring back all the CDs that I have in different boxes and use it instead of using Spotify. So I have this 3.5 millimeter wire or cable from the CD player up here in here. So so it works and I can play. So let's see what I've got here. I just I'm a David Bowie fan, so this is one of his best, I think. David Bowie Low. So I have that one, and then so basically I have my favorites here. So here is Hunky Dory, perhaps not one of my favorites Bowie, because I guess the best song here is Changes, that I've heard so many times, so I'm not really reacting to what's good about it. Pinups, I just like the cover, but the CDs is not my favorite either. I just have it here because, yeah, I don't know. And here the Ziggy Stardust, and the Ziggy Stardust is when I listen to all the songs, it's like, oh my god, every one of these are like hits, every single song almost. So it's very interesting that it could be like an album that has so many hits. So I can understand why people say that this is his best album. I also like Queen, so I have Queen 1, Queen 2, News of the World. News of the World and Queen, these are I would say, my oldest albums. I remember listening to them these 30 years back in time. These are actually in my father's CDs, but I remember listening to them, and these were everything I knew about Queen until basically YouTube came, where I realized that, oh, Freddie Mercury has a mustache and not long hair anymore. Okay, I didn't know that. So basically, I was basing everything I knew about Queen on these two CDs, and so famous songs here are, well, perhaps not many super famous songs here, even though I like these a lot. I like the Fairy Fellers Masterstroke, for example, and the March of the Black Queen. Here, of course, are more hits like We Will Rock You and We're the Champions, but yeah, I basically based everything I knew about Queen on these two albums when I was a kid. And then later on realized that, hey, there are other albums like The Game as well. Then I have an album with Smokey, like a greatest hits, but didn't really enjoy it so much. And then I have the Transformer of Lou Reed. Is it his first album, or at least the one who's recognized as his best album, perhaps, at least. So I have this one. I kind of like it. Put it back here, and then I have where Lou Reed is involved with this one as well, the Velvet Underground and Nico. This one I like better. Some really great songs here. Heroin, of course, and Sunday Morning, and not sure how to pronounce that, but perhaps Femme Fatale or something like that. I really like how Nico sings. And then I have some other favorites of mine. This is Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here. I remember purchasing this. It was in a store. It cost me 50 Swedish kroner. So that should be equivalent of almost $5 US dollars. And Dark Side of the Moon. And this is heavy. I feel like this is heavy. I think it's the this papery thing in there that is very heavy for some reason. And Tom Waits, some great songs here as well. Oil 55 and I Hope That I Don't Fall in Love with You are great. Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell, number 2. So this is not number 1, which is, I guess, considered his best one, and this is considered his like after that one, next best. Van de Graaf Generator, I like them. Only 4 songs on this album, but The Undercover Man I think is very good song. Really like that Undercover Man song. Let's see here. Eric Clapton Unplugged. This is a great album. Play many songs here with only his guitar, or perhaps there are some bass or something like that, but it's like nothing fancy. Here is Sting. Yeah, and there are some song here that is good. I think Sting is not one of my favorites, but there are some songs here that I think is great. It has the song, let's see here if they have the song Fields of Gold. Yeah, so that's one of his greatest hits, right? Some Bee Gees, not listened much to them. Jeff Beck, I've listened quite a lot to this album because it was also part of my father's collection when I was small, and I had nothing more. Not much options, so I've listened quite a lot to that. Elton John, of course, one knows a lot about his songs. Let's see here. What else? Simon and Garfunkel. Yeah. So obviously my favorite song is Bridge Over Troubled Waters, that you can see there in the bottom. Bridge Over Troubled Waters. I think it's so great, and it feels like it doesn't have this normal verse chorus bridge chorus. It has a different pattern, and I've never tried to look at the pattern. So when I'm listening to it, I'm listening to it as I'm not trying to see a pattern. So perhaps there is a pattern in it. But I'm trying to listen to it as one can listen to David Bowie songs many times. It seems like you don't really know what the pattern is when it terms of chorus and verses, etc. I'm not sure if you understand what I mean, but perhaps. Elvis songs, many good ones here, of course. Love Me Tender, Can't Help Falling in Love with You, etc., etc., etc. Yeah. So then you Cocker. And then we have Ace of Base, big in the 90s. Beautiful in Life, etc. Okay, so here I have some other ones that are not like, also records that I like, but perhaps not that favorite. So here, Bowie's Outside. I have David Bowie, Black Tie, White Noise. I'm not sure about this Bowie thing. It seems like when the 90s come, he just likes to switch places, like upside down with his name, or it's quite annoying. and the title on the CDs. Here is Reality. So I listen quite a lot on these ones, and they have their moments. And then I have some greatest hits. Oh, perhaps I was not showing what I was looking at, but I have some greatest hits here also with Bowie. This one I've had for a very long time. I listened a lot to these greatest hits. And then I have some other Queen albums. Since I'm a big Bowie and Queen fan, I have a lot of their stuff in here. And also on Freddie Mercury, which I really like as well. Then I have some Whitney Houston, Tom Jones, Celine Dion, just to have some big mix, Westlife. And then I have some Danish music that I like. These are like Danish classics. And they are, of course, not if you're not from Scandinavia, you are not familiar with them. But Ann Linnet is great, Kim Larsen, of course, Gasoline, and Lis Sørensen, etc. So these are great. Danish Dynamite, so Lis Sørensen, another Lis Sørensen, and Gasoline. Yeah, many great tracks here if you want to listen to Danish music. Here I have a Thin Lizzy album, which I have listened to a couple of times, but didn't really like it. Here I have Liu Bei, which is interesting. I actually found this in a flea market in not that long time ago. I just thought, oh, I have to buy this. This is a Russian group. They made, I think they're still making music, but they did some very good tracks in the early 1990s, just after the Soviet Union collapsed, etc. And they had some really great songs here. Let's see if I can point them out for you. This song, Davai, what does it say? Davai Nayarivai. And Combat, of course, is great. And on the other disc here, where is it? Yeah, number 8, Zatibia is, of course, a great one as well. And I have listened a lot to these songs, but you cannot listen to them anymore on Spotify, sadly, because even though they made some very good music in the 90s, they are also very pro-Russian operations in Ukraine. So therefore, I guess that is the reason why you cannot listen to them anymore on Spotify. So yeah, I managed to find them, and they were sanctioned. So I guess. So I have that, and then I have a couple of, let's see here, Vladimir Vysotsky, like his greatest songs here. Let's see here, Moskva Odessa is, of course, famous. And there's also, when he sings in French here, La Fin du Bal, which I also like a lot, that song. And here are just some other songs with Vysotsky. And then I have some Russian hits from the 2000s. And here are just some other stuff that is not really music, but just CDs. I just want to get some height on this pile of CDs, just so it can basically stop from showing cables in the back. So this is just a copy of Best of David Bowie that is broken, but I have an extra. Here I have some greatest jazz songs, or perhaps not greatest jazz song, but at least some different ones. And of course, the famous one, Dave Brubeck Quartet, Take 5, is of course having a wonderful, I'm not an expert, perhaps it's not a saxophone, but yeah, I think it's a saxophone when he plays that solo, which is super great. And then I have some Italo mix. It's like Italo disco, something like that. And then this one, which I listened to a lot when I was small. And like, look at the prices on these ones. It's crazy when you think back on how much music actually costs. So this is 239 Swedish kronor in a store. That means in dollars you would pay maybe 230. Oh, sorry, like $23 for this in a store. That's so expensive if you think about it. And now you can buy it for maybe $1. But I listened a lot to these songs growing up. A lot to these songs. Then I have some hits of the 80s. And then just some random, I'm not gonna dive into this, but just some random collection of hits from the 80s and 90s, I guess. Not so exciting. Here I have a lot of Swedish music. So Ted Gärdestad, he killed himself, but he made some very good tunes, one of the classics in Sweden. And then Fred Åkerström sings Bellman. Bellman made music in the 1700s, in the end of the 1700s. And he basically, a bit like Mozart, he drank too much and died of, weakness after a while, I guess. But made some very classic tunes. And then famous artists in Sweden have recorded them afterwards. Then some other Swedish artists, perhaps not to know. This is like one of the most famous Swedish artists that exists today, Håkan Hellström. This is his debut album. Let's see here. Lisa Nilsson, I actually like her as an artist. She's great. This is one of my favorite artists when I was a kid, Markoolio. As you can see, it looks very cool. Also listened a lot to this guy, Magnus Uggla, who's been around for maybe 50 years. And then this guy, Nordman, also like him, I have 2 of his CDs. One of my first, the top song there, Vandraren, like the Wanderer, was perhaps my favorite song when I was a kid. Then Carola, famous, she won the Eurovision Song Contest once. I think it was in 1991. And then I have some singles here from when I was a kid. Let's see here. Backstreet Boys, Venga Boys, Markoolio, etc. And then some sort of DVDs, music, like not a DVD, but it's music that you can play on a DVD. So it's quite annoying. And then some classical music. Okay, so I just wanted to show you some other stuff that I have that I, perhaps not a collection, or perhaps I should collect, because it was quite fun to look at this. So perhaps I should buy some, because I know there's a lot of places where they have a lot of cheap CDs, so perhaps I can go and see if there's anything that I don't have and that I like. So this is what it looks like, and it was like another kind of video today, not a hockey card video, but perhaps you liked it. I don't know.